Hey, I'm Jorge, and I'm going to talk about Leaf AI, which is a project that I implemented that lets you talk to your documents in your Google Drive folders. So, yeah, here's the landing page. I'm going to go ahead and log in. I'll log in with my Google account, but you can also use your email and password. And then when you get to the new chat page, it prompts you to go to your settings if you haven't connected your Google Drive to your account. If I say show me my folders, once again, if I have not connected my Google Drive to my account, the agent will let me know that I don't have that it doesn't have access. So I have to go to my settings and go to the integrations. So I'll do that. And great, so I'm connected now. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna ask the same question, list all my folders. And so the agent has access to all my folders. It's gonna check, use its tool called to list. You have to search my Google Drive. And these are the top level folders that I have. So I'm actually gonna ask it to tell me about this link. Tell me about this. Because it also has support for sending individual links. And so that corresponds to the Gemini Deep Research folder. And yeah, it just contains a bunch of research reports that I told Gemini to create. And so that's great. So I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna say, come up with an interesting insight from these. Okay. And so it also has support for creating citations. So I'll show what that looks like. But in the meantime, some other features that we have, you have the ability to delete any sessions that you don't have any use for anymore. You can also share a public link of the chat so far. And yeah, so we're having some issues here with the read drive file tool. I don't know if it's a malformed tool call requests, but it seems to have figured it out. So yeah, here we go. It is summarizing one finding from one of the research reports. And as you can see, there are citations throughout. And yeah, so if I hover over them, let's see, once it's done streaming, yeah, so it has a tooltip. You can click on them. It'll take you to the file. Obviously, you have to have access to the Google Drive file that's being referenced, but yeah, and so yeah, so let's check real quick. So here, another thing that I implemented with the public URL is that if there has been an update since you last shared it, it'll tell you. You can click here to update it, and if you revisit the link, you can see that it's been updated. So yeah, and so those are most of the features at this point. Yeah, I can just kind of talk about maybe the last feature that I'll show off is this. So I'm going to tell it, cool, write an essay now. And yeah, one thing that I like about this is that I have support for durable workflows. So yeah, if I disconnect, if I refresh the page, it will connect to the async background agent task, and it will pick up the streaming from the last streamed token. So now I'm just going to go through some of the tech stack that I use. So here I have the repo, it's public. Definitely recommend going to the README for details on the tech stack, my design decisions, but especially my agent task like management and parallelization structure. I tried to come up with a more formal structure. I created Cloud Code skills for creating a task, implementing a task, marking it as complete, updating the progress on the tasks, and had each of my background agent or each of my agents, which I had up to 8 working at any given time. I told them how to, I had files that explained how they should check like what new tasks to create, which tasks those depend on. So definitely take a look at this. I found that I was even able to have 8 agents working in parallel on the same branch, which is something that I hadn't tried before. And I think the main reason I was able to do that is because of how I divided the tasks, how I had the agents update their progress and check on each other's progress before working on their tasks. I'll kind of wrap up by going through the tech stack and my design decisions. So I use Bun, I use Supabase for the database and auth. I used Vercel for everything. So I use Vercel to deploy, I use Vercel's AI SDK, and I use Vercel's workflows. And then I use the Google Drive API. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Also had a comprehensive tests that made it easier to hand off tasks to these agents. But yes, some of the design decisions that I made definitely. So first off, I scoped all the data, all the sessions to be like workspace scoped. So instead of just having like a session consist of a single user, I created a workspace, and each of these sessions belonged to a workspace, and that just was a little bit more overhead, a little more complicated to have an additional table and all that, but it just makes it easier to extend in the future. And then so when a user logs in, if they don't have a workspace defined for them, then I have a database procedure that goes off in Supabase and creates a workspace for them. Also had for each chat session, we have a chat participants table, which makes it easier in the future to add support for multiple users in a chat, or even extend it to have multiple agents in a chat. We modeled the message, like it consists of message parts. So for example, if we have a message with a tool call and then like text, tool call, more text, those are like stored as a list of like JSON within the message row. And yeah, trade-off is you can't search, you can't take advantage of your relational database and search easily through the text of the chat, but there isn't really much of a need for that. And yeah, the shared URLs, the way I implemented that is when you choose to share, and a complete copy is made of the session, it's made publicly visible. And so that is defined by adding a column to the chat sessions for the string for the shared URL. So one trade-off here is like, all right, we're kind of polluting the table of chat sessions with a column that's only used by a subset of the entries, in this case the shared public chat sessions. But to me, I think it was worth it, that trade-off, because it's I don't want to introduce another table that has basically the exact same schema and introduces the potential for diverging schemas, and you have to worry about that. You have to have duplication, and this way I can use the same UI components for both like the regular chats and the publicly shared read-only chats. Anyways, that's kind of just some a look into the design, and yeah, thanks for watching the video.